I hope you're all well. So, welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, it's where I talk about twin flame process, also known as divine path, and talking about it from my personal perspective, not so much really, but also and mainly through the Pleiadians, who are my guides, and my higher self is also Pleiadian, as are a lot of us. So, a lot of us coming from that place. So, basically, and if you've been here before, you watched me before, hello. Thank you all for the readings that you book with me, the personal readings. That really helps me out, keeps me going. Um, of course, everything operates in accordance with the law of attraction. So, it's been quite irregular for me that I've earned money from that. But it does kind of speed up and slow down in accordance with whatever else is going on in my life. So that's quite interesting how it kind of, it's never too much, it's never too little, it's always just the right amount. And I do feel like the people, when they come back, you people out there that come back repeatedly, you're always coming back at the right time. And it's always like there's something that's, it's really weird how it happens, like, as is everything on this journey, right? Because it's almost as though your soul makes you come back for the reading that you get and the time that you get it at. And also, it feels like it's specific shift points as well for the whole collective when you come back. I did have someone email me say, I don't think she was complaining, but she said her personal reading was very much like the collective one that I put out. And the thing is, the information does repeat a lot. And also, once I've read it in a personal reading, it becomes ingrained into the perspective that I have. So, what I witness through the readings that I do is sometimes quite phenomenal in terms of like, people think it's me that does the readings, but it's not me. It's my higher self. And my higher self, I don't always know what my higher self is going to say. Um, and my higher self is part of a group collective as well, Pleiadian energy. So it's not just, it really is like the information that comes through is stuff that I'm not always aware of. And they really, I have to say, my guides, this teamwork of energy that's out there, sometimes when some people come, I don't know why I'm talking about this, by the way. I just started talking and here I am. And that's how it happens as well. So obviously I meant to say this, but what happens is somebody will come to me for a reading, and like it was the other day with somebody who's been back before, and they are literally shouting to get this information out, and it's like they've been waiting for this person to come back and ask me something so that they can come forward and they push it through me. It's like a force that comes through. I can feel my whole body pushing out this information, like, for this person, and it's like they've just been waiting, do you know what I mean? And they're all scrabbling to say stuff, and it comes out through so fast and furious sometimes that it overtakes me. And until it all is out, basically, because they have so much to say, and these people that come are the opportunities for them to say it. You see, I can read my own cards, and I do it every morning. And sometimes it will be a struggle, as I was saying to another person today. It can be a struggle because uh, although I've got a broader perspective of my own process, I'm so heavily invested in my physical existence as who I am right now, that is sometimes, who I am right now gets in the way of the information that wants to come through. So I'm always trying to look around a corner with that, with myself, or just like people do. People always want to see ahead. They want to see further. Actually, what they want to do a lot of the time with readings is they want to see what they think they want to see, and they want to hear what they think they want to hear. And it's always what it is that they think they want to hear, or what it is that they think they want to know about, is always never what it is that they're going to hear, or or what they should be knowing about. So and that's the same with me, except I can't see what it is they want me to hear. Sometimes I have to go to somebody else for that, just like all of you do. So I just thought I'd say all that, maybe make it a bit clearer about the readings, because what they want you to know when you have a reading is always the most highly aligned information that there is regarding your journey. So if you're going through a twin flame process, which most of the people I think who watch me are, the process itself is, this is what they're saying, right? The process the process itself is not something that is difficult for them to organize as it transitions through us in our human state. We put ourselves in front of that process, and it's almost like we create with our physical state of being what would appear to be an obstacle to the process. You see, the answer is always to let go, basically. Always. And let go is letting go in your head, basically. I said that to someone in the comments, didn't I, the other day? You see, it repeats. Because there's general themes as well that are going on. I mean, I said to somebody today as well, I told it to someone in a reading the other day as well, I booked a massage, and this woman came around my house, and she started asking me loads of questions when she got here. She was very in a state of non-letting go. So the first thing she started to tell me was how she always felt the need to explain herself to other people, because they always asked her these questions. So she always felt the need, and she was in a real state of chaos inside herself. I could feel it coming off her in waves. And I said to her, well, what makes you feel like you need to explain anything? You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to justify yourself to anybody. And I just said that straight off the bat, because I thought she needs to stop panicking inside herself about the fact that she thinks that she needs to explain herself to people. So she didn't quite get it, but I could see her cogs working around that new idea that she'd been given. But she was not in a state of release. And then she said to me, because I said to her, I moved here from the city, and she said to me, why have you moved here? As though it was anybody's business, which it isn't, right? But it's like people are so used to, and I wasn't offended, but it's just that people are so used to operating from their minds, and they're so used to asking questions, and they're so used to thinking they have to have an answer to everything, and that it has to come from a discussion, and that these are all obstacles to peace of mind, you know? And so when she said that to me, without me even realising I was going to say it, because a lot of the time what comes through me, these situations, for example, this one obviously is a very highly guided situation for her and for me, because I didn't know this till she asked me the question. And when she said to me, well, why did you come here? And I said, I came here to let go. And it just came out. And as I said it, I realised to myself, as I so often do, oh my God, that is why I'm here. I'm here to let go. And that's why I've been looking at the birds and the trees outside. And that's why I've been put in this place. And not only put in this place, but everything that's happened before being put in this place was being told to let go. Not specifically with those words, you have to let go, but it was being put in either like many things. So there'd be times when I felt like my life wasn't moving and it was just stuck, and the world was going on, like one of those slow-mo kind of film things where it's all happening around the person and the person's just stood still and life is moving around. There's all these people rushing around you, getting on with busy lives. So it felt like that for a very, very long time at some points in my life, like that life just wasn't happening to me. And the reason for that is because it's about letting go. So it's what the energy was asking me on those, not occasions, these were like, we're looking at a year here and a year there, situations of a year or longer sometimes, asking me to let go. Because letting go of basically the physical dimension, this is a whole other story, we won't get into this right now. But things like that, right? Were always asking me to let go. Things as well, the whole purge process, but particularly this twin flame process and the process of the clearing through what is dark energy that has to come through you as a force to be reckoned with, basically, which is a dark night of the soul. And that is the process, and that is meant to be that. And the resistance around that is not wanting that. And, so those points of resistance within that process of the twin flame process were me not letting go. The fighting what is, the fighting the current moment, and the fighting the present moment, the struggle that comes from within. You see, there is one thing about this journey that you can also always rely on being the truth. Always, if you want to go in reference to one thing that you have inscribed on your chalkboard or your stationery or your, how people people online, how they have like in online chat rooms, they'll have they'll sign off with something, so they'll have it permanently on the bottom of their or you could have it permanently on the bottom of your email address or something. In fact, I might do that. And if there's one thing about this process that you could put, I am engaged in changing dark to light, for example. Changing dark to light is my purpose. The transmutation of energy is what I do. I am an energy transmuter. You may not see it on the surface, but my main purpose here is changing dark energy to light energy. All this kind of stuff, right? So if there's one truth you can rely on about this twin flame process, it isn't the sentence, I'm connected to another individual. It isn't the sentence, I'm a twin flame. It isn't the sentence, when are we going to reconnect? It isn't the sentence, when am I going to be in a physical union with this person I'm energetically connected to? It's, I am here to transmute the dark to the light until I have finished doing my work. And when I've finished doing my work, well, that's a whole different story. But work does finish in that respect. So basically, the letting go is around everything else, you see. So you just take that, I'm a major transmuter of dark to light energy, and you understand that and you own that. And that's what you are. And then you can let go of everything else that you think is a struggle, because you're doing that. Because doing that is the main thing you're here to do. So everything else that you say should be something that you're getting on with or happening in your life is in fact not what you're here for, and will not be happening in your life until you finished your work of transmuting dark to light. And the thing is as well, that these situations and events and people that come into your life that you struggle around, this struggle around them is the transmuting dark to light. So you can see when you're feeling like you're going through a struggle, or you're feeling like you're going through bad times or hard times or difficult times with what's presenting in your physical life, that's meant to be like that because you're changing dark to light. So it comes through your physical life as situations, people and events. We're not talking like a one-time event or a two-time event. We're talking on a daily, because we don't talk about that. We talk about moment to moment to moment to moment to moment, the existence in the present moment. So what you're doing is you are changing dark to light in every single moment of every single day. So you can see there's no let up in that. It's not like you have time off, or you have a break, or you have like time out. So when you have this, you've got two versions of you. Let's just concentrate on the two. There's many, many more, but the two for in this conundrum that you're faced with. Because the conundrum is your physical existence, right? Which you think is you. And then your energy, your vibration, the part of you that is truly you, that is existing beyond this physical dimension. So the true you is the vibration that exists once your physical existence ceases to exist. Once your physical body, as you say, dies or passes over or passes away, decomposes or all that stuff, whatever you want to call it. So the true you is the vibrational you. So the true work that you're here to do, although you might not want to hear it, you might want to. Some people want to see around this and think that if they can just step around this truth and just concentrate on the physical existence, but you can't do that because the truth is the vibration. So it has to be understood that you're here to do the vibrational work. Now, if you weren't a twin flame and you weren't going through this process, that might be a very different, you might have a very different answer to that question. But the twin flame work, the twin flame is the process of the transmutation of dark to light. So you're here to do that work. And that is basically above and beyond your physical existence. Do you see what I mean? So when you look around you and you think you're standing there in this slow-mo camera and your life stood still and all the world is happening around you and everyone's having it easy, or whether they're having it easy or not, they're having a life of some sort and they've got people to meet and things to do, businesses to start, relationships to have, all that kind of stuff. And you're like, well, all I'm doing here is like struggling with not having a life, or my life not being how I think it should be, or I'd like it to be, or I want it to be, and it's not reflecting what I'd like it to be. You've got to understand that what you need to do around that and what's you see to appear happening in your physical life is to let go. You have to let go. Because you're here, you see, you're here to change the dark to light. So you're here for the vibrational work that will be based around your physical life, looking like how it needs to look for you to do that vibrational work of changing dark to light. So of course, if you're doing that vibrational work, which is the twin flame process, you're not going to be looking like you're having an easy life. It's going to be looking like it's a struggle. Things won't be going smoothly. Things won't be flowing. Conversations won't be easy. Life will be difficult. Money won't be there. You know, events will be happening, situations will be happening that don't match up with your expectations of what is an easy life or comfortable existence. But none of that is wrong. It's just asking you to let go. You have to let go of how you're viewing it. You have to let go of the need for it to be different. You have to let go of like the justified reason for being here incarnated in this physical life, right? If you let go, then the energy will flow, and the energy of the healing vibration will flow. And your life, once you let go, will start to match up with actually what is that expectation. But it won't match up from the force and the push and the pull and the insistence of the physical brain wanting that life to be different. Because that is how that resistance in you is the resistance to is what you want to come in from your vibration. Your vibration has to match up to what you want in your physical life, not your mind. Not your mind, not even your heart, really. Although that's a different subject, so we won't go there. Your mind is the obstacle. It's always the obstacle. What's going on in your head is always the obstacle. It's your disagreement with yourself in relation to your life that is the obstacle. And once you stop disagreeing with yourself in relation to your life, then the obstacle will clear. And then the movement of the energy that's healing, that is the twin flame vibration, will take you to a better place physically, as well as emotionally, as well as relationally. All drama will cease to exist. So you might not be in control of the fact that you're here and you've committed to this work of changing the dark to light as a twin flame vibration manifest into a physical form. All right, you might not, you chose that basically, right? So you can't do anything about that. But what you can do is you can submit, and you can give in to it and the fact that you came here for it, and you can know that you did. So in your head, when every time you have like a struggle in your head around your physical life and what's going on in your physical life, you can say, aha, well, of course it's like this, because this is what I've signed up for. So now I need to change that dark to light inside of me. So let me just stop struggling with this situation that's happening in the physical world. Let me just stop resisting what it is and wanting it to be different, because that's me in resistance. Let me just allow it to be. Let me take my attention off it, because if you put your attention on something that's causing you resistance, you'll only get more of that resistance that's coming from the attention on it. So you remove your attention from that thing in the physical world that's bothering you, whether it's another person or another thing or an event or a trip or a state of being or a house or dog or whatever. You know, you just take your attention off it, and you don't give it any more attention. Instead, you change your vibration, right? And you do what you need to do to change your vibration, which is not as hard as people think it is. You see, this is where people go looking around corners because they don't want to do that work of changing the vibration. They just want the end result of what changed vibration occurs. It's like they don't really believe in the vibration bringing about the physical existence, but it does. See, so if you change your vibration, then the physical existence will start to change too. Not straight away. It's not an immediate effect. It takes momentum, building the momentum in the vibration. So you've got to find more and more moments of peace and happiness inside yourself where you're not in resistance. you've got to like see it coming at you, life, right? That's how I like to see it. Like it's coming at you, like you're watching a movie. So you remain detached from what is your physical life, and you don't feel like you're right in there, down in the dirt, in the sandpit with your hands in the dirt or whatever, like wringing it out and writhing around in it. So you pull yourself away from it, like you're watching a movie with a box of popcorn, sitting on a seat, watching your movie of your life, right? And you start to detach from it, and you start to just allow it to happen without any investment in what is going on. It might be quite difficult at hard. You might say, I can't do that, but you can if you practice. And nothing is, you've got to keep repeat. It's like learning anything. If you're learning to change your vibration and operate from a vibrational understanding, you're going to have to do the work that it takes to change that mode of operation inside you. You know, they call it changing the programming. So you need to, you know, this is your route forward is changing your programming, internally shifting into operating from a vibrational understanding and not a matter of fact understanding of what goes on inside your head being the truth, because it isn't. Your mind is not the truth. Your thoughts are not the truth. Neither is what's shown up in the physical world, because this domain is not real. You think it's physical, we said it before, because you can see, feel, taste, touch. That doesn't mean it's the truth. It's only a manifestation. It's a hologram, if you like, in effect. But so is your physical version of you a hologram. So you match up with the hologram that you're existing within. So it all feels very real. But the truth of you is only a vibration. It's the truth of you is a fundamental truth, right? It's more organic than what you think you see, feel, see, or touch, because it's more real. It's beyond your physical existence. It's what you'll always be, and it's pure joy. And it's pure happiness. So if you can take that as the one truth as well, the pure joy and the pure happiness of your vibrational existence is what you want to match up within your physical existence, you see? And all you can do to find that is let go, because you can't be creating. You see, the resistance is what you don't want. So you've got another conundrum there, really, in the physical form, because what happens in the physical form is you think to create the happiness and the joy, you have to have physical things in your life to allow you to feel the happiness and the joy. So it's like you want to have those things, you know, whatever they might be, showing up so you can feel happy and joyful about them. We're including in that as well other people and conversations with other people, because this is all occurring in the physical world. So they're as manifest as anything else, right? So the detachment, right, and the watching the movie of your life like it's on a screen means that when you're detached from it, you can just feel the way that you feel when you're only vibration once you leave your physical body, which is happiness and joy. So you're not invested anymore in what's going on in your physical life. It means you're detaching. There might be some things you don't want to detach from. You might not want to detach from certain people in your life that you do have conversations with. But you've got to, well, you haven't got to. I would suggest that what you do is when you're in contact with people in your physical life and you're noticing within a conversation or an exchange of any kind, or you know, not just a conflict, because you can have a conflict, you know, it's a conflict, right? You'll know, oh, I had an argument, that didn't feel very nice. But also within communication, you can have what is also known as resistance. So you can be feeling one of many things in regard to the communication that you're having that is not a pleasant feeling, right? You can be feeling anxious, you can be feeling worried, you can be feeling stressed, you can be feeling that the desires aren't matching up in you and that other person. You could feel like that other person is ignoring you, perhaps. You could feel like they're not listening to you. You could feel like they don't care. There's a lot of things that can come in communications that aren't out and out war, that affect your vibration, basically. So they will make you drop your vibration, these things that happen. And your vibration is then revolving around that physical situation with that person or those people, as much as it might revolve around a bill landing on the doorstep or a pie coming out of the oven uncooked, or all those other things that you could find yourself thinking, I should worry about this about. Do you see what I mean? So the thing is to see those conversations that you have as much as part of the movie as everything else that occurs in your physical life. So instead of being in that conversation, like they say, with your hands in the dirt, ringing it through and, you know, trying to mold it into something that would feel more pleasurable so that your vibration can be all right in relation to that communication, because you've changed the communication into something that will serve the vibration. You have to detach from the conversation so that the vibration can renew itself and remold itself around you feeling good. So you cannot be invested in other people's opinions, other people's choices, other people's desires, other people's needs, nor can you be invested in your opinions that they might have of you. So you can't be invested in their opinions of you, or their desires from you, or their ignoring of you, or their wanting from you, or you feeling like they don't get you, or they're getting the wrong end of the stick of you, and all this kind of stuff. You have to detach from all of that and not care about any of that, right? Because once you know, to quite simply put it in the words of the old, you know, Dolores Cannon or whoever, like the old time psychics who actually knew a hell of a lot but weren't respected enough actually. But to put it very, very simply, when you die, nobody cares anymore. When we all die, because we never die anyway, you just leave this physical body and you go back to your vibration. Your vibration is happiness and joy. And so is that person that you're communicating with, happiness and joy. And none of it is held over to be answerable once you go back to spirit. None of it is held over so you can have it out in spirit. Oh, well, look, you were like this and you were like that and you never said this and you never did that. You just go back to spirit and your happiness and joy, like a big bouncing balloon with a smiley face on it. That's how they look. Actually, more like little old men with big smiley faces and bald heads. So, do you see what I mean? You've got to detach. You've got to detach. You've got to detach. That is what letting go is. You detach from what is in your head. You detach from the things that make you frown. You detach from the conversations you don't understand. You detach to have it all clearly laid out in a physical form. You know, this person thinking this because that would be better, or you thinking this, or you both agreeing on that. You detach from the needing to agree on anything, and then the vibration will sort it all out. And I can guarantee you, if you detach and you walk away from that situation or that conversation or those people or that group or that Facebook page or whatever, and you detach and you take yourself back to yourself and you put on some nice music and you start to hum and sing it out and dance around your house and click your fingers and snap your fingers and love your life and have a little glass of wine and lower some resistance, that situation will reform. And if you let it go and you let it go and you keep letting it go, and because that does not include going back to it to see if it's changed, you just keep letting it go, the situation will just change. And it'll come back to you, and it'll come back to you differently. And you must know that, all of you that watch this, because you're on a twin flame process. So the whole process is about two people containing the same vibration, disconnected physically, who go through a process of transmuting dark to light energy, who go through, you could say they go from here to Timbuktu in terms of physical life. You know, many twists and turns, many ups and downs, other relationships, other children, all sorts of things. And then they eventually come back full circle to each other and rejoin in the physical because of that process that they've been through that's cleared that dark energy. And the reason that they come back in the physical is because they let go. So in the bigger picture of the divine plan is about letting go, because that is the process of the twin flame. But the mundane of the everyday life is the letting go. Because the moment of letting go has to be learned. It has to be learned as part of the everyday life in every single moment, from moment to moment. Because the moment to moment reality makes up the bigger picture. So that's actually what you're here to do. Do you see what I mean? It's not just hear what you're here to do, it's hear what you will do and what you're doing. It's actually what you're doing. So that struggle is part of that. When you're struggling, that's what that is. It's not that you're struggling. You're never struggling, you're going through a twin flame process, and you need to detach, and you need to change your vocabulary around it and the way that you think around it. And you need to reform, or they call it reframing, around what it is that you're going through. And instead of saying, okay, I'm a twin flame going through a twin flame process, I know all that, Let me just put that aside and let me look around this corner. And now can we focus on why I'm struggling in the physical world and why it's not working out for me in the physical world? Oh yeah, no. I know I'm a twin flame. I know all that. But let's just talk about me in the physical world and why isn't my life working out for me? The two things are the same answer. It's not one process and then you've got a physical life. Your physical life reflects your process. So it's never wrong and you're never struggling. It's you've got to change it dark to light. You have to let go. You have to find a better place of being inside yourself in relation to what's going on in the physical world. So the physical world will then change. And that's not a will it, won't it? Or okay, maybe it will. If she says it might, well, maybe it might then. I don't know. I don't know if I trust that. You're a twin flame going through a twin flame process, so of course it will. Of course it will. That's what it is. You let go and it all transmutes. Okay. Whew. I told you they're talking fast and furious. Right. Let's get some cards out. So really, okay, what I did come here to do, I thought, was to go through like a kind of a post full moon breakdown of what's been going on. You know, the energy was coming through fast and furiously, I felt, at that full moon, which is only just passed by, which is in Leo. I nearly put something out yesterday, actually, but my vibration was so high, I was jumping about the house, and I kind of started to do something, and then I was like, no, I've got to carry on jumping around and listening to my music, because it just was so good. You know, masculine energy moving forward and all that kind of stuff, you could call that. Because it was really like a good feeling coming inside of me. And that's coming from the one that I'm connected to as well. So really like pulling it down now to like nearing the connection point, the physical reconnection point, I feel, from what is coming through the feeling of that. But that's just me personally, you know. A lot of people are getting there as well. Some people say they're struggling. Well, struggling is part of the process. If you're struggling, then relinquish and let go of that and sink into that struggle, right? Just allow it to be and then stop struggling around the struggle. Okay. You can't change the world. You can't change other people. Not through your physical effect, not through your mentality. Okay, let's see what they're going to say. Happiness. Just want to check this is still up and about. Yes, okay. Right, so we've got 9 of Cups coming out, happiness. 5 of Pentacles, negativity. Negative relationship as well. And then we've got the 3 of Cups, more happiness. Happiness, rejoicing, reunions, partying, in fact. And we've got the Hanged Man, which is process. And then we've got the moon coming out in the centre, so that's the core, the heart of the matter, basically. Page of Cups, which is new love, love coming in, the beginnings of love, the sproutings of love, basically. Fear, 7 of Swords. And then we've got the Hermit, which is wisdom and completion. And the 9 of Pentacles, which is the feminine in her power. So this is also nearing completion for the feminine energy as well. You know, this is like a self-ordained mission, basically, because only you can really be in your power. So it's like you can't, it's not about anybody else, your power. It's not about you being like anybody else. It's about you being authentically you, warts and all, whatever you are, you know. Right, and then underneath we've got this 4 of Swords, which is the calm before the storm is what they just said, actually. So, whew. So it comes through. It's like waves of stuff coming through. Right, so the calm before the storm is what we're talking about here. Now, there's one more moon to go before we hit, you remember what they said to me months ago, which was about 8 moons. So this is the last one that's coming up, the next one, which is Pisces. It's a very emotional moon. It's a downtime moon, is what they're saying for that one. So it's about closing yourself out to the physical world as well, taking yourself out of the equation, downtime, meditation, stay in, be alone, that kind of thing, regroup. Let go. Oh, God. Sorry, but it's like that's what they say. Let go. You've got to keep it's a proper let go moon. This is now this other thing, right? This letting go, basically. This facilitating point, the letting go is a facilitating point for the masculine energy. You see, if you can view it like this, try and be really practical with the advice I give, okay? And the readings that I do, as well as it all coming through like this. So basically, if you can see it like this, right, when you're in connection with somebody, it doesn't matter whether it's physically or vibrationally in connection with somebody, and you're on this journey and you're going through this process, and the process is about eliminating the dark and returning to the light, and that is about within you. So it means eliminating your ego, which is what you do by facing it, the dark night of the soul, right? And then through that you come to a better understanding of a vibration, and I just want to feel good, I don't want to feel like this, and there's a lot of choice points in that, and there's a lot of letting go in that. Right now, when you're doing that, and when you're bringing the struggles to yourself, right? Not just law of attraction, but because you're on this journey. So it's slightly different to a normal human being that will just, whose life will operate according to law of attraction. But because you've chosen to come here and eliminate dark energy and part of a twin flame process, you're bringing yourself stuff to clear. More above and beyond. This is above and beyond a normal existence, right? It's like signing up for the Marines rather than the Home Forces or whatever, the TA, Territorial Army, they call it in England. It's a full-time job of transmuting dark to light. You're the heavy brigade, right? The big guns. Okay, so you bring yourself these really big struggles for you to let go around them. And that's how you clear, and you come to a better understanding. I just want to feel good. I'm going to stop worrying about that. All that stuff they said before. The reason that, if you want to see it in a practical way of why are you doing that, if you're a feminine vehicle, and you will be if you're watching this, you'll be the one that operates from the feminine energy. It's because you're helping the one that is the masculine, who's operating from the masculine energy, dismantle the dark. So they can only let go if you let go. So whenever you bring yourself a really big struggle in your life, for you to say, I'm not going to worry about this. That's all you have to do to let go. You just have to say, I'm not going to worry about this, and then follow it up with actually not worrying about it. And then what happens is they let go. And every time they let go, because you've let go, you're a step closer to where it is you actually want to go, that you can't get to until you've let go. Do you see what I mean? So that's kind of how it works. And this moon coming in, Pisces moon, I know I didn't say I was going to talk about this, but this is what they're talking about. So this Pisces moon coming in is a really big point of let go. So if you're going through a really big struggle right now, what is that telling you? Right, so you take your eyes off the physical dimension and believing the truth of that, or what you think is the truth of that. Like, oh God, this is my life. I've got this really big, horrible thing happening, and I can't take my attention off it because it's so big and horrible it's happening, and it's all consuming me, and I can't stop thinking about it, and it's really worrying, and it's awful, and it's my whole life. So if you've got something like that showing up, right, and you've got a big point of let go coming up, that's what that's telling you. It's not telling you, because the twin flame process is you will bring yourself a massive struggle like that, because it's a shift point. What it's asking you to do is shift around that. So come into a better understanding around that and let go and say, aha, here's a great big struggle in my life. Things aren't panning out the way that I'd like them to. I'm a twin flame. It shouldn't be panning out like this. Well, it should actually, because you brought yourself that. So instead be like, aha, I'm a twin flame. This is exactly what is showing up, because I'm meant to let go around this, and I'm not going to worry about this or stress about this at all. I'm going to, in fact, not even watch the movie anymore. I'm going to put my popcorn down. I'm going to walk out. No, actually, take your popcorn with you. Take it with you. Take the good stuff with you. Turn around, walk out the theatre, and go for a nice walk in the sunshine somewhere. Look at the birds, look at the daisies, look at the sun, the moon, the stars, look at the clouds, breathe the fresh air, smile at the flowers, talk to the flowers, etc., etc. Be like Snow White in the Disney movie where she's talking to the birds, basically. All right, and sing and dance and da 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 da, and let your vibration take care of the rest. All right, because it's a vibrational moon coming up, with it being a Pisces, being it let go, a moon, being it this. So when you do that, everything will fall into place. And that's whether you're in physical contact with someone or not, or non-physical contact with them, because the energy works around everything. You know, it works around the physical dimension. It works around it's the energetic connection itself, and the energetic connection in terms of twin flames is what is showing up in the physical world in relation to those two people. So this big point of let go is a return point, basically, because you're facilitating the let go in the masculine. And what do you think they're resisting? Well, you know what they're resisting, because you complain about it all the time. Because you say they're not doing this, they're not doing that, they're not talking to me like this, they're not saying this, they're not coming forward, da 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 da. Because they're resisting, they're not letting go. It's your letting go that facilitates their letting go. And when you let go, they let go. And what do when they let go? They go, oh, I'm going forward. I'm going to call her. I'm going to text her. And they manifest. Do you see what I mean? You hold yourself in a point of resistance, all you're going to get is resistance. So that all you're going to get from them is resistance, because you have the same vibration. You are energetically the same. So all you have in there is an energetic standoff, a face-off, if you like, without John Travolta in it. I believe he's also Pleiadian, by the way. Where did that come from? Okay, so basically, it's a big let go at this moon coming in, right? So you just got to let go. That's your power, you see. The feminine power is letting go. So maybe that's not what you thought it was. Or maybe it's just another string to your bow, you know? Another arrow in your backpack of arsenal of vibrational understanding. You see? It's all about pulling it back in. Everything pulls back into you. That's the power. When you are stood still in your truth, and you're not trying to affect anything around you in the physical world by reaching out of yourself and change the physical world, or changing a communication, or get what you want from somebody that you're not getting at the moment, when you stop trying to do that and you pull yourself into center and you don't focus on anything apart from feeling good, that is when you're in a vibrational resonance with what you want in terms of absolutely everything and anything and all of it. Okay, and that is when everything changes in your life and starts to change. And from that, you're building momentum on that. So that momentum is never reaching out of yourself again. It is remaining steadfast in your authentic truth of self. And that is it's a vibrational truth, and it comes from the mind, harnessing the mind. So it means that when your mind is trying to reel you out of yourself, like it's got a little fish on the end of a fishing hook and it's hanging it in front of you and it's saying, look at this little fishy of worry, look at this little fishy of worry here, and it's trying to reel you towards it with a feeling of like, oh, let me just go into like a state of anxiety about that, or worry or stress about that. You pull yourself back into center and you just like, no, and you don't even allow it to manifest in your vibration, to take hold of your vibration. So you see, the more you practice this detachment, the more you understand what that steady vibration is, how it feels inside your physical body, and how it operates inside your mind. You know, the human mind is so adept at choosing things and to worry about and deciding things and thinking it has control and thinking it has the upper hand and thinking that it is the driving force of your being here. But it's an ongoing experiment, the mind. It's not an evolved situation inside the human being. It's constantly evolving. Your truth, your spirituality, your vibration is the evolution. right? So that is the higher guidance. It always, your intuition. And if you listen to your intuition, it will always say to you, do nothing. Do nothing, say nothing. Just be. And watch everything manifest around you, right? Everything change around you. Again, they're like showing me images like Disney, Beauty and the Beast, where it all just, everything looks like one thing, right? Or the people look like plates and saucers and cups and stuff. And they're all there, because it's an enchantment, basically. The human life is an enchantment. It's an enchanted thing. It's not real. So it can all change at the flick of a switch. The switch has to be in the mind. See what I mean? And that's how you change it. You shut down your mind and you allow things to unfold. And they will. And it will be like a Disney movie, with everything just like singing along and going better and getting better and better and better and better. The momentum is inside of you. It's in the withholding. It's not in the acting. Okay. So whenever you've got a question around what should I do about this, the answer is always nothing. Nothing. And whenever then you've got another question of like, well, I'm not sure, because maybe I should be doing something about this, because it feels very like I should be doing something about this or saying something about this, and maybe I should be doing that. That voice is always the voice of doom, and ignore it, right, and do nothing. Okay, because that's the old program that you've been running that needs to be deleted, that states that you should always do something about something to make it better. The new programming is the path of least resistance. It's being your vibration. I know it takes a while of practice of pulling away from this, habit, like thinking you're not a mechanic, basically. You're not a motor mechanic, and your physical life is not a Triumph motorcycle. And it's not for you to try and take all the bolts and the nuts off it and try and make it better. It's a hands-off approach with this physical life right now. Always. The evolution is the hands-off approach. All these little instances of like telepathy and stuff that goes between the twins, all that kind of stuff, that's the evolution. So evolution is that we'll all be communicating like that one day inside our minds. I mean, you already do with the one that's a twin, right? So that's the way it's going. It's a hands-off approach. You just, the future is you literally think about a cup of coffee and it's going to be sitting on the table in front of you. That's what the future's going to be. Maybe not while we're alive. I don't know. I don't think so. I can't see. I shouldn't be thinking that. I'm thinking too much. See, you got to stop it in its tracks. Right. Okay, I'm going to put one more down on all of these. So no thinking, basically, is what they're asking. King of Wands coming out on that moon, masculine energy moving forward. And again, it is about whether you're in communication with someone or not in communications with them in the physical world. So you're not like looking out at that communication that's going on going, well, I'm not getting this. It's not happening the way I want it to happen. You have to let go from that. Let go. You could put that on the bottom of your email. Just let go. Every time you send an email, you'll be remembering to let go. And start introducing yourself as that. What do? I let go. Because one day everybody will be letting go. They might look at you funny and nod and be like, yeah, okay. Anyway, right, and then one on here. Oh, look, King of Swords. Do you see? I told you it's moving. It's moving and grooving. So we've got the King of Wands coming on that moon. That's masculine energy moving forward with desire. That's passion, unrequited passion, they're saying. And this is the King of Swords, which is the masculine truth. And the truth is the vibration. And as they've just said, the vibration comes from letting go. This is letting go in the Four of Swords. It's a point of meditation. It's a still point in the mind. So you're looking at creating a still point in your mind. And that is going to be the moment of letting go for them. And that's the moving forward on the moon. And I know that's happening because I've been told for my own personal self what is going to be happening in terms of this for months now. So you want a situation to change. You want the communication to change. You want how it's showing up in the physical to change between you and certain someone. Then change your vibration. Okay. And then we've got the sun, which is good, happiness, good happiness. Happiness is the still point. Happiness is you're good to go. The happiness, like I was saying earlier, it's not going to come from something in the physical world that you have to make you happy. Happiness comes when you let go, because you're no longer worried when you let go. You can't be anything but happy when you let go. There isn't anything else there for you to be worried about or to be thinking about or concerned about or wanting to change or wanting to tinker with. And therefore, there can only be happiness once you let go. Okay, so that's what they're looking at. That's what you're looking for, in fact, inside of yourself is that point. Facilitating it. Okay. And then we've got High Priestess down here on the Nine of Pentacles. So that is the higher self of the feminine vehicle. And that is also your empowerment state. So your the physical version of you, when in its fullest power manifest onto the earth, is when it's operating from its highest self. There is nothing higher than the highest self than letting go. No spiritual bullshit is attached to the highest self. All right, so it's not about anything that you do that would appear to be spiritual, unless it's assisting you in your letting go, that of course. But it's not about, it's like there's two things you could have written on the bottom of your email. One is, I let go. That would state, without you stating that you're on a spiritual path, that you're on a spiritual path, right? Because that is the spiritual path. The other would be, I'm on a spiritual path. Well, that says nothing about you letting go. Do you see what I mean? So all that facilitates letting go is what's needed. Breathing's very good. Just breathing, really. Deep breaths, big breaths, slow breaths, steady breaths, calming breaths, lots of breaths. They like the breath. Breath is your spirit. It's like when you cease to exist in a physical framework, your last breath is your vibration leaving your physical body. Because it's the vibration that runs your physical body that is the breath. It's the force, right? The energy. So, breathing. That facilitates you being in your higher self. And you'll notice that when you get stressed and worried about things, you stop breathing, don't you? Everybody stops breathing when they get stressed and worried. They go all tight, they go all resistant. Panic attacks are a case of not breathing, you know. Panic attacks are when people become anxious and people become panicky. It's because they're being disconnected from their vibration, because they get, and it's. I'm not saying I'm not trying to be horrible to anybody who has panic attacks, because I've had them myself. There's a process of recovery, of coming from that that state of being that requires a lot of self-love and self-care. And for me, that was yoga. And that is a lot of yoga. It's not the asanas and the positions, it's the breathing. It's the breathing that facilitates it. And the yoga nidra, which is basically just lying down and listening to a soothing, gentle voice whilst you breathe. See what I mean? It's like, and with that comes a lot of understanding, because the breathing brings you more spiritual guidance. It brings you more understanding from your intuition, because your intuition can get a look in and it can tell you things in the quiet moments when you're still and you're just breathing. And that can facilitate you actually repairing from the anxiety. So this is what you want to find in your still point, in your point of power, is deep breathing and steadiness and stillness in the breathing, which also is going to transmit to your other connected one. And a lot of those connected ones suffer from anxiety and panic. And that anxiety and panic inside of them is a state of resistance. So if you want to see that in a more practical, down-to-earth physical view, you would see that in the person that's wanting to reach out to you or make connection with you, feeling like they can't because they're in a state of panic, which actually that state of panic is a state of not breathing. That means that they can't connect to their source self, which means that they can't follow their intuition or follow their heart, because they're too shut down to that, because they're in resistance. So all you need to do then is let go and find less resistance, and they will be able to follow their heart. It's none of it coming from the mind. None of it is coming from the mind. None of it is coming from the question, when will they follow their heart? Because it's you. The answer is you. When will you breathe and follow your heart? And when will you reduce the resistance in your life by letting go? That's the answer. If you could put that on the bottom of your email, I facilitate my existence through my breathing. Whatever. It's like this is the vibrational reality right now. This is how it is. This is how it's going to be. This is the evolution. So there's no going back. So you can let go, right, with that news. There's no going back to the mind being the operating mechanism that humanity functions from in the way that it's always functioned. It's the new world moving forward is an intuitive world where we function from our state of being, which is vibration alone. Oh, so you feel the let go in that, right? Oh, I've had, on a personal note, I've had this really interesting thing going on. Is that there's these programs that keep cropping up on the TV of science wanting to prove the existence of what is beyond this physical existence. And I keep seeing those programs coming up on the TV and thinking, like, the human part of me is like, oh, that sounds interesting. I might watch that. And then my, like, the bigger part of me, my vibration part is like, no, because they won't know what you know. They still won't have let go enough to know what you know. So there's no point watching it because they're not. It's not. They haven't evolved to the point where they can understand yet what really is. Because they try to draw it down into. You can't grab fairy dust, right, and drag it down to earth. Because by the time you look at it, it's going to be mud. So the understanding of the vibration is beyond the understanding of the mind. It is only understood once you are achieving that vibration and you're seeing the results of that vibration. So you can't have the question in the mind of will it work or won't it work if I just concentrate on vibration, because you'll still be in your mind and then you're not facilitating the vibration. You have to let go of the mind and be purely in the vibration. It's like leaping off a cliff. You think you haven't got a parachute, but they know you have. You have a massive parachute. Just imagine if you could jump off that cliff and you just be flying forever. And you'd be flying and then you'll be like, wow, look at me fly. I don't need to think at all. Once you know how harmful thinking is to yourself, you will not be thinking at all. Okay. We've got the Queen of Cups coming out on the Three of Cups, which is happiness and go with the flow, basically. Feminine energy over there. Down here we've got the Knight of Wands, and that is vibration, energy moving forward on fear. Whew. You see, this feminine vehicle, right, going with the flow, happiness of letting go, is facilitating the energy moving forward. The opposite of fear and existing within a physical framework that is a fearful existence where you're worried about everything, the opposite of that is letting go. It's not replacing it with something better, because that, again, it's your mind wanting to replace it. It's like you wanted to grab that reality and pull it into you and say, I want this to change now because I don't like the way it looks. And then worrying and stressing about it, right? You're letting go, and your happiness is what is going to facilitate the fear. That is the opposite to the fear, right? Does it make sense? And then the energy will move forward, right? It's like that energy will move forward on that fear, move away from fear, move beyond fear, overcome fear. Masculine energy will overcome fear, all the fear. Fear will cease to exist, basically. But it's facilitated by the feminine and the inside of you and the vibration of you, and not by the outside of you and the going towards what is outside of you, basically. Negativity, Five of Pentacles, a negative relationship or situation. Then we've got the World on top, and the world is a completion. So like I said earlier, basically, if you're struggling, if you feel things aren't looking how you want them to look in the physical world, this is not because things are wrong. The struggle is part of the game plan. right? And that won't last forever. It'll last until you stop focusing on it, basically. And when you stop focus on it, focus on your vibration, it will start to slowly, slowly, slowly melt away and dissolve and disintegrate until it no longer exists completely. Wisdom down here, completion, and then look, Knave of Wands coming out, Page of Wands, which is vibration as well. So you can see the wisdom is the vibration opposite the negativity and the completion in the world. The ending of the journey is the ending of all negativity, not outside of you, but inside of you, and how you relate to it on the outside of you. You don't engage with it anymore. The old part of you, your mind might want to, like I said, it might want to be grabbing at straws and taking hold of trying to like bite the fishy on the end of the fishing line and get reeled into worry and stress. But that's not the higher perspective. The higher perspective is letting go and not getting pulled into the situations or the dramas or putting your attention there in any way at all. Laugh and let go. Hanged Man, process, and then the Emperor, which is the masculine energy, turning up on top of that. So you can see what that means, right? The process and the masculine energy, and this is incoming. This is the physical version of the masculine energy incoming. And over here, we've got form taking shape, the Page of Pentacles. So look, you've got new love and new form taking shape in those two pages, Cups and Pentacles. And that's the incoming energy after the moon. So this is what they're saying. So again, it's a vibrational understanding, not a physical one. So what's going to occur at the moon around you letting go, should you choose to let go fully at the moon, is a physical manifestation of the masculine energy in one way or another, right? So this is like if you've been disconnected for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. This is if you're connected and it's not going too well. This is if you're in a loose connection where you have some conversations and other conversations you don't. This is if you're kind of you're teeter-tottering back and forth in communication and it's not where you want it to be at because you're looking at the physical world and you're putting all your eggs in that basket. But basically the masculine energy coming forward in physical effect at this moon on reliance of your let go. So the advice is then let go at this moon for the masculine energy to continue moving forward and for the form to take shape. But you've got to remember it's a slow process. Even beyond a physical manifestation of what is an energetic connection, you still have slow movement, slow, gentle movement, baby steps forward. This is a really powerful connection that's coming into physical being if it comes in and you're bringing it forward through this state of let go. So everything remains in a state of let go beyond the a connection point, the initial connection point, whatever that is, whatever that conversation, text, email, whatever that is. It remains. You have to remain detached, and you have to remain in your point of attraction, your vibrational point of attraction, which is a state of non-worry. The mind always wants to rush forward, and it always wants to get where it thinks it needs to go. So it'll focus on the future. Instead of enjoying the moment, it'll focus on what's next. So you pull your energy back to the present moment. So with these conversations that are coming in, these reconnections that are coming in, you're focusing on the moment of the communication. You're focusing on how should it feel in this moment to talk to this person. It's got to feel good to talk to them, right? So your conversation is to create the feeling of good. See what I mean? It's not to create a future. The future will take care of itself if you feel good. So the point of conversation is keeping it light-hearted, keeping it light, keeping it detached, keeping it from any projection onto the other person, any outward wanting or gaining from the other person, any questions, no question answers, right? Nothing like that. Just a light joining up, basically. How are you? That's a good one. Are you well? There's another one. How do you feel? That could be said. Is everything okay? I guess you could say that. What you're doing these days? Non-committal, non-conformist, you know. No bringing in the past, no talking about the past, no activating the past. No, where have you been for the past 17 years? Nothing like that. Just like, oh, there you are, you know? And have a chat, and just have a chat and keep it light and keep it non-committal. Because do you remember they said before, the commitment is not in making a commitment. You don't make a commitment by saying, I'm going to commit myself to you. Because that could be a lie. Somebody could say that and not mean it at all. That's why the mind and the verbalization is never the thing that gets you there. It's a vibration. So the commitment is, how do you engage with the current moment that you're in? And if you're on this path, you have only got one option of engaging with the current moment that you're in, and it's how they've got you to this point that you're at, where you get this reconnection. It's through being in a let go state, in a what would appear on the surface to be a non-committal state, right? But your commitment is to feeling good, and that should be your only commitment, and not to the other person feeling good, because you can't make somebody else feel good. You can only make yourself feel good. And when you feel good, then you'll be reflecting back at them feeling good, and they'll start to feel good. That's how you get someone else to feel good, by you feeling good. See what I mean? So take it easy, basically. It's a state of no mind. You know? You don't need to get anywhere really fast. You won't get there really fast. You certainly won't get there by looking backwards and digging up that old grave of the past and checking to see if the body's still in there and if it's still wearing that skirt or whatever, you know. Not by doing that either. So you just got to be invested only in the present moment, and how does that feel? And increasing the feeling good around that present moment. And then, you know, trust. If you do that, every present moment will bring the same result. Every present moment will be a feeling good present moment. And the feeling good will be in relation to whatever it is you witness in the physical world. And do you remember those times, right? You must have had this as well, because I remember plenty of these, with this twin that you're connected to, where they said something socially unacceptable to you, maybe gender unacceptable or whatever, you know, sexist or rude or something like that. And the moment they said it, they retracted it energetically. So they might have said it because it might have been their old programming, but as soon as they said it, they went, oh no. Or you just felt them pull back in, like, awareness of what they'd just done and what they just said, and how that was not something that they wanted to be. They didn't want to be the person that said that, and you felt them, or you saw them pull back away from that. Right? Do you remember that? Because that is the truth that's showing underneath the surface, that led you to this what at first feels like an obsession, like you can't let go of somebody, right? See, you can't let go. That you're then forced to go along this path of realization, where you're brought into awareness of what is letting go. Like I say, you come full circle at the end. And when you come back full circle, that you have integrated a new way of running your programs. So you're working from a vibrational understanding. You've reached a point of let go. You've understood how to let go. You're relinquishing a need to not let go. You're relinquishing a desire to feel confused and out of sorts with the world that you see around you. You decided to just not focus on it and worry about it or stress about it. And when they come back at that point, I let go, and they're coming back in their truer state. I can't say they'll be fully in their truth. You know, they're not going to be fully vibrationally competent, because they're a masculine energy, not a feminine energy. So their competence comes later than yours in their vibrational understanding. But they're on the right track, right? And they're on the right road. And there'll be more of that person that they were, that pulled back from those things that they said or did that they knew that they didn't want to be. So it's just really taking it slowly, very, very slowly, because in slowly you can be you could be, there needs to be lots of space between the words, is what they're saying. Lots of space between the words. You might feel like you want to maybe rush. I don't think you will feel like you want to rush forward, actually. It feels like you'll want lots of space between the words, actually. You know, short conversations with lots of space between the words, so that when you come away from the conversation, you don't have to like think about a lot. And then you just have to let go again, right? And you've got to remember with these as well, when the masculine energy comes forward, it's the masculine energy coming forward repeatedly. So that means that you've got to stay in this point of let go, so that they can come back and then come back and then come back and then come back whenever it is that's the time for them to come back, that they come back. And that can't be about you wanting them to come back at any particular point. You can't be going, planning, well, we're going on this holiday or to that wedding or whatever, like a couple. You can't be doing any of that. You've got to be just in a point of let go, where you just wait for them, you just see what happens, and then let go of them when you spoke to them, and then they'll come back, and then let go again, and then they'll come back, and it slowly build and it moves forward, and it'll be that's in the commitment, you see. That's how a commitment is actually formed. The commitment is in the occurrence, right? Not putting the cart before the horse, basically. That's why marriages never work out. Well, maybe some of them do, but not most of them these days, because people put the commitment before the event. They put we're going to be together for the rest of our lives before they've had the rest of their lives. How do they know what's going to happen for the rest of their lives? They don't know that yet. They don't know that Mr. Right isn't just waiting around the corner for them, and that that little twinkle that's going on in the back of their mind saying, are you sure this is the right one? Because they're not listening to their intuition, and they just want the dress. They want to wear the big dress, so they get married. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Whew. So that's what they had to say. Quite a lot, I think, actually, about letting go. And what else? That's that moon. So Pisces moon, that's point let go. Masculines moving forward. The commitment is the connection, right? So the commitment is the point of return. A conversation, a text, that is a commitment. Because somebody comes back, it's because they want to. And because in that wanting to, they are creating a commitment. So there is a commitment there, right? And then every moment beyond that is a commitment as well, of when it reoccurs. So that commitment is there. It's just not it's not for anybody else. It's for you and them alone. It's not for other people to be seeing or a commitment or. So they're saying that. Anything else? I don't think so. Oh yeah. Well, so as always, I'll put in the description box below about the readings, the prices, how you contact me, and I leave that there. Anything else? Oh yes. So somebody who I did a reading for a long time ago has got a book that she's written. It's on the subject of twin flames, I believe. It's poetry. And she did ask me if I could put the link. Well, she didn't ask me, actually. I said to her I would put the link in the description box. So I'm going to put that down there. So if you want to go and have a look at that, you can do. And anything else? I don't think so. All right, I'm going. Okay. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.